Yo, Bust, man, I
Yo.
gotta talk to you about your relationship with the dude J Dilla, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, Dilla's.
How did you guys meet, man?
I met Dilla through Q-Tip back in like 90, I would say like 90, 94, like 95, 95, 96, like right before I was getting into my solo album. I didn't actually meet Dilla initially. I got a cassette of Dilla beats from Q-Tip. And Q-Tip, he swore on everything that he stood for, loved, and believed in, that this was the most phenomenal producer in existence. And when he gave me the cassette, it had these beats on it that to this day I remember how some of them go. Like literally as if I heard the CD just now, leaving out the car, listening to it in the system. But these beats that he did was so impressionable that I like looked for him because I wanted to meet him, but I never had the opportunity to really meet him until months later because he lived in the D. And we was in New York. So,
Detroit, ladies and gentlemen.
Detroit, yeah, he was in the D. But for the most part, when I actually did get an opportunity to meet J Dilla, he was just one of the most, like his demeanor was just so calm and like reserved. He wasn't really into the long talk or the conversation and he wasn't trying to do all of that. He was just real to himself. And when you start vibing with him and you get a little more familiar with him, then you're gonna get the laughs and the jokes and the conversation out of him. But for the most part, Dilla was just one of those dudes that was a recluse, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't into running around and doing a bunch of the club scenes and being in all of the hot spots. He wasn't that dude. He just wanted to be in the lab and bang out. Every now and then he'd go out, keep it low, but for the most part he was into the grind and just trying to contribute greatness to the game with the music. And he has been responsible for contributing to every one of my solo albums since the beginning of my solo career. I wouldn't complete an album without Dilla on it. And you know, the legacy will continue that way with me and him because I respect his music, I respect his family, and I respect who he was as an individual. And he has definitely given me so much music that he like, there's so much music left to get to that I haven't gotten to, just from the stashes of beats that he left for me, that, you know, as long as I have the opportunity to make these records, I'm gonna always make sure that the world acknowledges what his greatness really was. You know what I'm saying? But I met him through Q-Tip, hands down.
Now I got the McBoogie. Yes,
yeah.
sir. I got
diligence. That's
I had to ask you about that, man, because you know, that's real talk. Everything you just said about the dude, man, and what really struck me as being just like phenomenal about this producer, about J Dilla, is the fact the body of his work. Phenomenal, right? Wow.
There's so much music he got out there that, and it's always crazy that, you know, after the fact, it's now when people are starting to focus on everything he did and how much he contributed and how much music that we loved he was responsible for. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just crazy when you really sit back and think about it. Like, can't keep running away from Far Side way back. You know, that was a single, that was a Dilla produced record. You know what I'm saying?
Beautiful.
Can't Hold a Torch on my last album, Big Bang, with Q-Tip. That was a Dilla produced record. Still Shining on the Coming album, my first solo album, was a Dilla produced record. The song Keep It Moving with me and Leaders of the New School on the Coming album, that was a Dilla produced record. Like, I've always looked at that man's work as unbelievable, and like even his albums that he put out, like Donuts and all of these other albums.
Yeah, Dilla Donuts.
J-Lib and him and Mad Lib and you know what I'm saying? All of these albums that he puts out.
Them cats too.
Yeah, no question. He got beats that, like, he used to send me a beat CD and be like, yo, these are the beats that nobody can rhyme to. See what you could do to it. And it'll be the most off the wall, left field, groundbreaking sounding beats, and that was what would challenge me to write, because I always wanted to do what the next artist couldn't. So he would give me the beat CD and say, yo, nobody couldn't write to these beats.
If there was one beat that you remember that he gave to you that struck you the most as one of the most incredible beats and you wrote a rhyme to it, what beat would that be?
Still Shining on the Coming album, my first solo album. Because for the whole length of the beat, every 4 beats of the beat, the programming or the arrangement, the song mode or the song arrangement of the production, it changed and it never repeated throughout the rest of the song. So when I wrote the rhyme, I had to write the rhyme to the way the drum pattern was going, and I would have to keep rewinding that part.
It was like a puzzle.
Yeah, if the part was only 2 or 3 seconds long, I would have to keep rewinding that part until I figured out how to match the wordplay pattern to go exactly with the production pattern of the beat. And then when I complete that, then I would go to the next 3-4 seconds of the beat and match my wordplay to what the beat was then doing in a new direction. Match the wordplay to that beat pattern, then go to the next 3-4 seconds of the beat. And I had to do it like that all the way until the song was finished. That song took me about a week and a half to write. I ain't never take that long to write a song in my life. But it was challenging for me because I knew that it couldn't be copied. And at that time too, you know, the cloth that we was cut from, we took great pride in knowing that we was able to create something that was original, that was respected. You know what I mean? It ain't like now. You know what I mean? Nowadays, a dude will use a line or two from your record and spin it off and make it like cool to do in his record.
Right.
And I ain't got nothing wrong with that, but that's just not what we was conditioned to do earlier when we was coming up. Everybody had to do something that was a one of one. And I think that's what made hip hop so special earlier in the game. You know what I'm saying? And Dilla was that dude as a producer. You know what I'm saying? He made music that was one of ones. You know what I'm saying? They stood out. It brought the best out of the MCs, and you couldn't copy it. Because a lot of the times he figured out how to do things with the machine that no producer didn't discover to this day. You know what I'm saying? So Dilla was just a genius, man, and he still is. He was way, way ahead of his time. Definitely.